right, very good. Thank you, Scouts. Welcome to the 66th Annual Scout Government Day in the City of Brownsville. There are about 80 of you that signed up for jobs. Not everybody got the job that they wanted as their first choice, but several did. We've got lots of name tags up here for you to claim in a few minutes. But before that, we want to introduce the Mayor of the City of Brownsville, Antonio Martinez, and he's going to say a few words of welcome.
Good morning. Let me hear a good morning this morning. All right, that's what a good scout does. You know, this is one of my favorite days. As you all know, in February we have Charo Days, and that's when we do a lot of great things with the city of Matamoros, and we have a Mr. Amigo. But today, before we have Charo Days, I like to say that this is the time when I'm going to be looking at all the new leaders of Brownsville, the people that come in here and tell us that they want to be mayor, that they want to be commissioners, and I'm very proud of that. I happen to be a scout, but I didn't get very far, and I never even got to the point of trying to be a mayor. Sometimes life doesn't always tell you what's going to happen, but you know what? You got to follow your heart, and you guys are following your heart today. You want to do something good for someone, and that's why we are walking on this journey. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for doing what you do. All you parents, all you scout leaders, thank you. But for you and your leadership, some of these young ones may not get this opportunity, and it is an opportunity. So take good advantage of it. Enjoy the day. I happen to have been mayor now for 7 years, and I know it, as the good judge knows, we have to work hard, but we get a lot of pleasure out of doing what we do. And we're able to help people, and today you'll get a chance to figure out what you're going to do as you get a little older, okay? So thank you all for being here. Enjoy the day. Mark?
All right, the city secretary is going to call us to order here.
Good morning. Public notice of the City of Brownsville Scouts Government Day event Friday, February 9, 2018 at 8 a.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of Brownsville City Hall, Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. We will now please stand for the pledge.
Judge, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we going to say a prayer? Texas flag. Okay. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Mark, will you say the invocation?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you again for this opportunity for the youth of Brownsville. We hope that you will protect them throughout the day, grant them an opportunity that they will never forget, a positive opportunity that will inspire them to seek leadership positions in the future, not only in their units, but in the general public as they come of age. Thank you again for the opportunity, and please bless this day. Amen.
We will now have agenda item number 1, presentation of a proclamation designating Friday, February the 9th, 2018 as Scout Government Day in the City of Brownsville.
Why don't you, Commissioner, would you read that?
Sure. Okay, a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, designating February 9th, 2018 as the 66th Annual Scout Government Day in the City of Brownsville. Whereas for 66 years, the City of Brownsville and its community partners have come together for Scout Government Day giving many interested and committed youth the opportunity to gain firsthand practical experience in the functions of local government. And whereas participation in and support of Scout Government Day is essential for promoting greater youth involvement in community and civic affairs, and whereas the City of Brownsville welcomes this year's group of Scouts to City Hall and the City of Brownsville departments during Scout Government Day 2018, now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the city charter, do hereby designate February 9th, 2018 as the 66th Annual Scout Government Day in the City of Brownsville, and further urge all of its residents to join in recognizing the many fine and talented Scouts who have dedicated this day for this purpose. Done on this, the 9th day of February 2018, and it's signed by the mayor and the commissioners. Welcome.
At this time, we're going to call up the Honorable Renee DeCoste, an attorney and one of the municipal judges for the City of Brownsville, and he will swear in the mayor and the commissioners.
Good morning and welcome. May I have the Scout City Government members to come forward, please, to take their oath of office. All right, good morning. I'm going to ask you a very important question. If you believe you can carry out the duties that will be bestowed upon you, please follow with an I do if you can keep up or affirm the oath of office. Okay? Would you raise your right hands? I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties assigned to me as a member of the Scout City Government for the City of Brownsville, and will, to the best of my abilities, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Very well, congratulations. Now, with taking the oath comes a big responsibility. And my understanding is we do have a Scout City Mayor here present, and you're Ms. Lucy Lopez. Ms. Lopez, I believe we have a special guest here that will talk to you all about responsibility and about government, and will make a special presentation to you all. We have State Representative Eddie Lucio. Would you come forward, please?
I think after I make this presentation, y'all have some certificates to sign to make sure that your office is official. But first, to all the Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all the volunteers, troop leaders, parents, folks that have been involved in this organization for many, many years, thank you. Welcome to City Hall. I am at least very, very impressed, or I'm a big fan. I admire what you do in the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. It teaches you tremendous leadership skills. We need leaders in government. We need leaders in the future of this country. You are learning things right now so invaluable to your future. So I compliment you, I commend you on the dedication of being Boy Scout, Girl Scout, because it's not always easy, is it? And it's a lot of work. So you, Miss Lucy, who I've seen grow up, I know you probably don't remember me. Your mom knows a lot of people. Your mom and dad know a lot of people, but I've seen you grow up. You've been elected to preside over this body. And when you preside over a body in government, you have to be able to conduct business. And to conduct business, you need a gavel. Get everybody to attention. These folks look like a calm crowd, but you never know. You start conducting business, they get a little unruly, you gotta call them to attention. So we wanna present to you a gavel from the state of Texas that we are presenting in your honor for being elected mayor to Scout Government Day here in the City of Brownsville. So this is presented to Lucinda Marie Lopez, Mayor, City of Brownsville, Scout Government Day by State Representative Eddie Lucio III and State Senator Eddie Lucio Jr. Congratulations, Lucy. We're all very proud of you. Thank you.
Lopez. All right. This is the oath of office. We just read to you, and you've accepted. You will please sign. This one's legal.
Okay.
Am I hereby accepting your oath of office? Mr. Luis Miranda? Paul, this is your oath of office to just administer to you. Accept it, please sign. Your oath of office hereby accepted. Congratulations. Mr. Gonzalo Cedillo? Cedillo, this is your oath of office. Please sign it. Hereby accepting the oath of office. Congratulations. Mr. Andrés Gutierrez? Acepta el juramento. Hereby accept your oath of office. Congratulations. Mr. Stephen Bettencourt? You can take this one. This is your oath of office. Your oath of office is hereby accepted. Congratulations. Ms. Sky Ibarra, this is your oath of office. Your oath of office is hereby accepted. Congratulations. Mr. Travis Kress, this is your oath of office. Your oath of office is hereby accepted. Congratulations.
All right, Mayor and Commissioners, would you like to take your seats?
Thank you. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to have you all here. Thank you to everyone who was able to come out today. On behalf of myself and the commissioners, thank you so much. Senator and the Judge Renee, thank you for swearing us in and giving us this wonderful experience today. We're going to go ahead and start with, okay. Yes, job assignments. So, do we just call it? Okay.
All right, well, the moment has come now where you're going to find out what your job is. We already have the first 7 in place, and you see them all up here. City Manager, Abigail Rocha. If you would just come up and pick up your name tag. Deputy City Manager, Anna Brashear. Assistant City Manager, Catherine Lales.
Oh, it does.
City Attorney, Leo Lopez. City Secretary, Sophia Pirtle. Public Relations Officer, Rebecca Alejandro. Director of Aviation, Thomas Garcia. Assistant Director of Aviation, James Puckett. B Metro Director, Jack Jew. Assistant B Metro Director, Reynaldo Guillen. City Engineer, Diego Arredondo. Construction Inspector Supervisor, Jaden Gore. Emergency Management, Natalie Ruiz. Interim Fire Chief, Reagan Justice. Deputy Fire Chief, Leticia Garcia. Deputy Fire Chief, Sophia Cantu. Fire Marshal, Alex Marquez. Acting Assistant Fire Chief in the Training Division, Galea Garcia. Grants Management and Community Development Director, Jason Macias. Health Director, Matthew Montiel. Animal Control Supervisor, Rissa Orozco. Human Resources Director, Andre Cuevas. Is Andre not here? All right, Assistant HR Director, Safety Coordinator, who just got a promotion to Human Resources Director, Austin Gifford. Library Director, Ava Lawrence. Children's Section, Ava Davies. Children's Librarian, Darian Burks. No Darian? Branch Manager, Central Boulevard, Grace Garcia. Cataloging, Ana Paola Nunez. Branch Manager, Southmost, Lauda Guillen. MIS Director, Oscar Edueste. Municipal Court Judge presiding. We've had an unfortunate bout of flu that has taken our judge, so that'll have to be replaced. Court Administrator, Ana Ibarra. Prosecutor, Sean Alejandro. Public Defender, Amanda Hinojos. Bailiff, oh, I'm sorry, already given the bailiff. Municipal Deputy Court Clerk, Marigaby Sarmiento. Planning and Development Department Services Director, Andrea Olvera. We have one more prosecutor, Grace Young. Assistant Director of Planning, Caitlin Garcia. Zoning and Plat Administrator, Alina Armendariz. Assistant Director for Building, Larissa Araiza. Main Street Manager, Joel Payero. MPO Director, Madeline Ferguson. Police Chief, Maria Clara Rivera. Police Commander, Jordan Gonzalez. Police Commander, Diego Alfaro. And Police Commander, Logan Williams. Lieutenant Arturo Robles. And Lieutenant Changji Wu. Public Works Director, Eliel Escobedo. Streets and Drainage Supervisor, Gabriel Sanchez. Landfill Supervisor, Annie Young. Nice hat. Public Works Environmental Coordinator, Maya Hinosa. And Landfill Environmental Supervisor, Luis Aguirre. Purchasing Manager, Axel Rios, he won't be here today. Fleet Administrator, Raul Andres. Parks and Recreation Director, Diego Arguelles. Parks and Recreation Assistant Director, Ben Sykes. Operations Manager, Christian Armendariz. Brownsville Sports Park Superintendent, Loralisa Martinez. Event Center Manager, Natalie Lawler. Golf Center Manager, Ryan Lawler. Traffic Director, Fabian Rodriguez. Brownsville PUB General Manager, Patricio Rodriguez. Environmental Services at PUB, Daniel Huerta. Resaca Restoration Project, Victoria Robledo. Electrical Engineering, Ethan Macias. BISD Superintendent of Schools. This is the person that says you all got out of school today. Rebecca Gutierrez. Food Services Supervisor, Jacob Jew. BISD Police Commander, Natalia Avendaño. Another Police Commander, Sergio Gonzalez. And BISD Emergency Management Coordinator, Amita Gonzalez. Everybody have a name tag and a job. Nobody missing. Great.
Madam Secretary, would you please read the next item on the agenda?
9 a.m. presentation on State of the City by City Manager.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Scout Mayors, Scout Commissioners, and all our directors back there. I want to take a few minutes of your day as we move forward to give you the state of the city. I am Michael Lopez. I'm your interim city manager, recently appointed. I look forward to working with you and the rest of your staff. So let me start with your state of the city. Traditionally, we start out with organizational charts. As you see, there's boxes, there's lines, there's just paper. But I want to say that we're more than that. We as a city is who do we work for? While the lines say we work for the citizens, for the commissioners, but what we do is we work for the families of Brownsville. We provide services to them, the families, and then we do the culture. That's what we got to realize when we do work with our citizens. We handle the culture, the families. We also do the emergency. I don't know if you remember during the flooding, the potential hurricane that was going to hit us. This is a picture of us when we were giving out sand because of all the emergencies. Those we work for. That's what our staff does, and that's what your directors will do as they go planning. And then we work for you. You as our Scout Scout mayors and city commissioners, we want to know that we're here for you and our directors. And when you talk about who do we work for, the idea is what do we work for? And that's what it is. What do we use? And when you talk about budget. And your deputy city manager and your finance director will be talking to you about that, about your money. What do you use the money for? So what do we work with? What is our budget? Does anybody have an opinion or an idea how much money the city uses? What's our annual budget? Anybody have an idea? A guess? Uh-oh, mayor and commissioners, that's a question you guys get asked. Anybody directors back here? Hopefully my directors know how much we work with, right? We all guess is what? It's $100 million. That's the biggest fund, right? And we do. We have $100 million. That is our budget. So when he asked for it, he wanted to run the city of Brownsville. That's what we're looking for. So with that budget, it's like, okay, $100 million. I talked to my niece, and I told my niece, what would you do with $100 million? That scope of money is just so huge. What do we do with it? So I thought, let's try to see what can I buy with it. She said, well, I will use the money either buy an Xbox One or Takis, right? What would I do with it? So Xbox One, $100 million, Mayor, Commissioners, you have $100 million, how much would you, Xbox Ones can you get? Any ideas?
Like 27,000.
You can get 362,000. 360,000, I think we're close, right? Takis, anybody running in their head?
Wow.
How much you guys think?
100,000?
Like 50.
Somewhere there?
40 million. You get 40 million bags of Takis, right? That's what we're looking at if you look at it in the grand scale of it. So now you're looking at Takis, now you're looking at Xbox Ones, right? If you go back to the slide, we talked about how we service the citizens, we service the individual. Well, the city of Brownsville has a population potentially about 182,000. So now you know as a family, how do you split that $100 million amongst your whole family? For you, if you're a single child, you get all the money. But now if you have brothers and sisters, what happens? Now you got to share the shoes, right? So this is what we're doing, is sharing the shoes. So I want to bring it back to you how much it is. So if we were to split the $100 million over the 182,000 individuals, what's the guess of how much that's per person? Any rough guesses? It's $554 per person. That's what we do. So then we go back and say, okay, $554, does anybody have $554 right now on them? I sure don't. So we go back and say, okay, or let's go back to the stuff we're talking about. Xbox Ones. With $554, how many Xbox Ones can you get? You guys should know this one. We got a 1 back there? We start 1.98. That's how many Xbox Ones you get. Mind you, that's per person. Takis. Where are we at in the Takis? We should be closer. My finance director should be able to answer this question, but I don't know where it's at. But if we look at it, it's 223. And even if you take it down a little deeper, that 223 bag of Takis doesn't give you tacos. Somebody brought tacos, right? That 223 bags of Takis, that's not even one per day per person. So I want you to look at that, right? Look at the amount of, as we break down the money of the $100 million. It sounds very big at the very beginning, but as you break it down as you go down the road, it changes. So what do we use it for? We don't buy Xbox Ones, we don't use Takis. So if anybody's listening, we don't do that. What we do is we spend it on trails, we spend it on roads. We have 650 miles of roads in the city. And if I'm right, Carlos, I think it's $1 million per mile to fix it. So if you have 650 miles and it's $1 million per mile, you're talking about $650 million. We're running at $100 million. So I think that what you're going to find through here, Mayor and Commissioners, is the budget is what drives you on how to get the stuff done. So you want trails, you want roads, stop signs, traffics, B Metro, which is the buses, and our courts. So this is what we use our money on. And as you go through here, you're going to figure that out as you walk through the day. So I just want to just kind of give you a centralized things. If you look at something in bags of Takis or an Xbox Ones, it gives you more of a perspective. So I think because House Representative Lucio made a really good point about leadership. Leadership is not a position or title, it's an action and example. Mayor and Commissioners, you are setting the example when you come and do with your directors. And I would request on behalf of my directors that when you do walk with them, directors, that you ask them why they do it. What are they doing with their $554 on how to make the city better, brighter, moving it? And you're gonna find them have a lot of passion behind that work. So I ask you as you move forward, is when you sit there, is ask them about themselves versus what the job they do. because you'll see it, you're gonna be sitting here on top of Scout Government Day. It's about what we give back to the city, what we give back to our fellow person. So I'm gonna leave you with a challenge, is how would you spend your $554 as you go forward? During lunch, we do have it, usually there's some downtime during lunch. Your PRO, the PRO is over here, she's right there. Brownsville TV walking around during lunchtime, and you may be asked this question, directors as well, back there in the back, but we ask, what would you like to spend your $554 on? So that's where we're headed. So mind you, I gave you the state of the city, but this is, I guess, an opportunity for you to look back and look at you and give me the state of the city, so we can find out how do we make the city better, not only for your parents, but as for yourself as well. So I thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. If there's any questions, I'm free to answer them.
How would you spend $550?
How would I spend $554? That's a good one. $554, I'd spend it on roads.
Completely?
Completely. My thing is roads. That's our biggest issue is the roads, getting our road systems in place, because our infrastructure is old. So I'd spend my $500 specifically on that. But then I have my directors, and you'll see, Mayor, that's why you have your other two individuals tell you, parks, traffic, B Metro, municipal court. So $554, I can do it, but then you have your panel who can help you out and say, Mayor, this is how I can help you spend your $554. Any questions? Not, I'll be around here, available, and I not look forward to you guys. Have a good time, enjoy, and ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, what's the next item on the agenda?
Consideration and action setting the time and place for the resumption of the meeting to hear reports from all departments.
So we'll meet back here at 3:30 to get reports from all department directors and think about the question, how would you spend $554? Because we will be asking. Thank you.
If I may, Mayor.
Of course.
Before we all leave for our jobs today, I'd like for us to take just a few moments to remember one of our scout leaders who was here every year for as many years as I can remember, who passed away this last year, Mr. Julio Olivo. Some of you may remember Mr. Olivo, but if we could, let's just have a brief moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. At this time, you're going to be leaving with your counterparts with the city and the school district and the PUB. So have a good time today. We'll see you at lunch and then back here at 3 o'clock. If you have an envelope with money in it for your photo, you can leave it with Mrs. Blakemore right here. If you brought cash, you can pay for it later. Either at lunch or when we come back here at 3 o'clock. All right, so have a good day.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Madam Secretary, would you please read the report?
Consideration and action on the resolution from Scout Government Day participants regarding improvements to the City of Brownsville based on report findings and recommendations.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and ask all the department directors to step on forward to give their report. So, Director of Aviation, Metro Director, City Engineer, Emergency Management, Interim Fire Chief, Grants Management, and all that. Everyone come up. Just make a line in the front, please.
And all that. You see, the person who had to leave early,
Yeah, we're gonna.
you called them first?
We're gonna call them first, but I'm just gonna have everyone make a line, just so that.
Just reminding you, just in case.
Well, everyone, guys, go ahead, come through the door and just make a line right here in front.
No.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start with the purchasing manager, just because they have to leave early. So all y'all, please scoot down, scoot down, scoot down, scoot down, scoot down. Great. Okay, and then can I have the purchasing manager come forward, please? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
May we hear about your report for today's events?
Yes. Question.
Okay.
What would you do with $554? Answer. I would spend half on safer cars, for example. Rubber bumpers would take less impact on the people in car crashes, so not many people are sent to the ER room with broken limbs, deep cuts, or in some possibilities, death. The next half of my money would go to the landfill so they could get better equipment and a better chance of a cleaner environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, may the Director of Aviation please step forward.
Hello, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Thomas Garcia, and for today I was the Director of Aviation. Today I got to tour the Brownsville Airport and see everything that it takes to run an airport behind the scenes. We got to see not just what the airport does, like pilots and TSA, but we got to see other stuff like the FBO, where you can store your own private planes, and the airport's very own fire station, which is allowed to specifically only help it in times of needs. We also got to go to see the control center and the whole flight deck. We were allowed to be showed the runway and a plane being taken off. The director showed us around, helped us explain that there are more jobs than just a pilot there at the airport. And he helped me understand that an airport is just more than taking you place to place around the world. Thank you.
Well, does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I do. Thomas, what was your favorite part of the day?
My favorite part of the day, Travis, was to go up to the control center and see the whole airport in all its glory.
Thomas, what things you already know about the airport and what you knew about, or things you didn't know about?
Can you repeat that again?
What things that you knew about the airport or the things you didn't?
There's a lot of stuff that I did learn about the airport. I learned a lot of what goes behind the scenes, like how much you actually have to do to take bag to the correct plane and make sure that it's not going somewhere completely off.
What would you do with $554?
Currently, the airport's going through a lot of construction, and it's getting a lot more parking lots, and I would like to use that money because it can really use all the money that it can.
Thank you. I'm sorry, you guys want to sit down, right? No, you guys are good? Because it's going to be a lot of reports.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Okay. Okay, Metro Director, please come forward.
There's two.
It's Metro.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Mayor and the City Commissioners. My name is Jack Ju, and I am the Director of the B Metro. Along with me is my Assistant Director, Reynaldo Guillen. Here. He's going to be passing you some pictures of what we did today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice, very, very nice. Did everyone bring pictures? Yeah? No?
Today I had the chance to visit the metro station along with allowing myself, well, they allowed me to explore in full depth of what their operation is. So basically, we got to tour 3 buildings. We got to tour their main metro station, which is about 3 blocks away. We got to visit their maintenance yard where they fix the buses, and we also got to we also got to visit we got to go on a bus ride to see what they do in core. Basically, on the bus ride, we got to see what their main purpose is, and it's to serve the people of Brownsville by driving a bus and allowing them to have a form of transportation. We also got to see at the main station that, how they're able to pay off all of their performances, and it involves a lot of advertisement to third-party companies. For example, on their bus stops and their buses, they advertise for law firms, for restaurants, and for smaller businesses such as those. Another thing is, they also raise their money by leasing out their parking spaces outside to a local cab company, as well as leasing out one of their rooms inside the building itself, which they they lease out to the public, to anyone who wants to borrow the room for a bit. That's all.
Any questions, Commission?
Yeah, after what you learned today and saw, is there anything that the Brownsville Metro can do different to improve their facilities?
Well, I believe there is one. Now, in the Brownsville Metro station, there's just one big problem that outstands out of all the tiny little minor details. It's the bus lifespan. The bus lifespan is only about 12 years, but the federal government says that it's about 14 years, and that's the limit. There were 6 buses that outseated that limit by 4.5 years. So that's what I would like to see improve.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
I'm so sorry. When people are presenting, please give them the respect of giving them your full and undivided attention. Do not be talking or whispering, because we as commission do want to hear the reports, and it's very rude to be talking when they're talking. Thank you. Last question, what would you do with $554?
Well, it's either to put it into 3 categories: to repair the buses, to buy security, since the place is open from 3 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, while the security staff or the Brownsville PD, they only stay there from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. from Monday through Friday. So there's about 5 hours for every single day, including one day where it's their full business operation hours. They have no protection whatsoever. Luckily, there hasn't been anything that's happened there too serious, but that would be like a precaution.
Too serious?
Well, there has been like minor issues, like someone has walked into a bus and they had no ticket, they hadn't paid, so they just got a free ride, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Very nice pictures. Thank you so much, both of you. Next, the city engineer.
So, the city of Brownsville is one of the oldest towns in the state of Texas itself, and I say that it is the one that I call home because it is one of beauty and of utmost importance for its location for the border by the sea. And so, as city engineer, I've encountered a set of duties that the engineering branch of the government of the City of Brownsville has encountered and needs to take care of on a daily basis. And, well, before I start with that, and talk to you about how I start off my day. Today, when I went to go visit tour the engineering branch, we took a tour of the main office, and we also went to see how the layout of the City of Brownsville itself, to encounter what the engineers do in order to help provide the services needed by the people. So afterwards, went out over here we went over here to the border of the jurisdiction of the City of Brownsville to see a construction project that's undergoing on its way, and see what steps are being taken for the engineers to make sure that it is done in a productive way and to make sure there are no problems encountered. So as I learned that our roads are made in a V shape because the City of Brownsville is prone to floods as it is on a low elevation, and especially right where we are standing, it is a very low elevation at around 20, 30, or even 16 feet above sea level. And that's a very big problem because that makes the city prone to flooding, especially with all the resakas and the rivers that flow through the city itself. So that's why the city engineers thought of making the roads a V shapes to make sure that that people that are driving the cars have a safe place to go while the water sits on the side of the road. They'll be granted safe passage on a dry spot, which is the very tip of the V, to make sure that they keep going on where they need to go and to get safety. Then afterwards, went to go back to the branch, and we also went to go tour some of the street lights to see how how electricians have to program the lights, make sure that traffic flows neatly as possible. And as we toured that, we also encountered a crash that happened recently as we went to go tour the light box. And so they went over how there are many safety procedures to make sure that traffic goes smoothly as possible, make sure there are little accidents as possible, make sure everyone drives safely. And there are many safety breaks to help solve this problem and to prevent anything from going wrong. So then we went back and went to go around and tour some of the sites, such as the sign shop, which is where they make the street signs. This is the one I'm about to show you. Right here.
Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Thank you.
Okay. And we also went to go see how they painted the different road, like the little roads, so to make sure that everyone knows where they're going, like crosswalks, and to let people know where they should drive safely on the road. And finally, afterwards, we went to go look at how the City of Brownsville expanded over time from 1930 all the way to 2008, when it is at its current expansion. So after learning all of this, I've seen many ways that engineers have taken to make sure that City of Brownsville remains a safe place for everyone that lives in it, and what is taken to make sure that all citizens are free of flooding and out of danger. as possible. And I say that we have a very good draining system, but it's not perfect, as some houses are prone to flooding, at least 119 per flood. That's the average, as I heard. It was higher back then, but luckily we were able to reduce it. And so, up to my question of how I would spend $544, I would say we need to upgrade our infrastructures, because our infrastructure is outdated, and it's very important that if we help renovate it, that way it will make things a lot more safer for everyone that drives on the road and for everyone that lives within the city of Brownsville.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the commission? No? You basically covered everything. That was a very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Emergency Management Director. Is that you? Oh, door's right there. Door's right there. There we go. Very nice.
In my report on emergency management, today I have learned a lot about emergency management. On a daily basis, they get many calls, and I learned a lot about what they've done, that Brownsville has many floods, and that they've helped many people. Texas was reported the most cases of the flu, and they helped deliver some of the vaccines. They discussed their budget of $800,000, I think, million. And what they spent it on and what they bought with it. They don't only help with hurricane reliefs and provide food for the police on hard days. They helped us flooding in Brownsville, and they do so much for us and the environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the commission? You talked about how they distribute vaccines.
Yes.
So I know I go to like the doctor for a vaccine. Do they distribute to the hospitals?
Yes, that.
Okay.
Okay.
And any other? No?
What would you do with $554?
$554, I would probably help charity with the $554.
Okay.
Very
Thank you.
nice. Any specific charity? No? Just charity in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Are you guys sure you guys don't want to sit down? I can see some of you guys are tired. Just go ahead and sit down. Except for interim fire chief. Please stay up here.
I'll wait for them.
Yeah, just wait a minute. Somewhere close by, don't go super deep into a seat.
All right. Today we went to their base, like HQ, and we learned how their like infrastructure works, like how it goes from chief to like second chief, or like assistant chiefs and lower. And then after that, we kind of split up and learned more about what our jobs were. Like I went with the fire chief and learned what to budget and like what to say yes to and what to say no to if we need to buy something, how to budget. And then after that, we went to Fire Station 1, our oldest one, where we saw their new brush truck to help with grass fires. We drove that to the Amigo Land Mall to test out the fire, how it works and stuff. And then after that, we we went to Fire Station 2, our smallest one in the city. And then we went to lunch, and then afterwards we went to the HMS where they bill the people for the ambulance services. And then we went to the fire marshal's office, which is right next door, and we learned what they do. And then we went to Valley Baptist to see a ambulance, because they're dispatched all over the town, so there was really no one at a station. And then when we went to Fire Station 4 to learn what they do, and then we also learned what their programming is for dispatching them, and that's really it.
Thank you. Are there any questions for me?
Yeah, so did you get to mess around with any of their gear or equipment?
No.
No?
I have a question. Were you guys the ones who were like killing the grass?
Yeah.
Like after the field? Yeah? Okay.
That's the brush one. That's the new fire truck that they just got.
Because we completely saw that. Like all the grass was just like dying.
They weren't killing it, they were just watering the grass.
They were watering the grass? Really?
Well,
Okay.
it's really high water pressure.
Very high. I could see the grass like just exploding all over the place. Any other questions?
Would you do this as a career?
Yes.
No. Straight to the point.
If so, why? Why would you want to go into this career?
To help people out, and just because it really interested me, like how it works, fire people work.
Was this your first choice?
Yes.
Oh, so you were interested before?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. So you just learned more.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. What would you do with $554?
Public safety.
Public safety. It's a different approach.
Any specific branch of the public safety?
Well, just help out the firefighters.
As in equipment?
Like equipment and like renovating their fire stations to be up to date.
So just overall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get to slide down a pole?
Oh
No,
my God.
they're not allowed.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Grants Management Director. Oh, there he is. Really? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I am Jason Macias, and can you guys hear me clearly?
I can actually hear you very well.
All right. So, as you know right now, because you just announced it, I am the Grants Management Director, and so I'm gonna tell you what happened today, what I learned. So, I walked in. We started out walking to their office, to their building, where the magic happens of funding the entire city. And so what we did is we learned about how each building gets its fundings to be built, how each house that happens to be torn down gets rebuilt. And so that's what I learned. I learned around how much each time, how much fundings we get and where we get it from. And so our department receives fundings from HUD, Housing and Urban Development. And so we get funds on an average of 3.1 million. And so that's pretty much what we do for fundings. And what we do and what we repair are parks that have been broken down, playgrounds for the kids, and houses that have been demolished, as you just heard. So we also help out homeless. We figured out why they're homeless, and we try to see if we can get them into such a building that we can hold them in until they get a house. And we pretty much help out and receive fundings for the entire city of Brownsville, which I would enjoy to stay in for the rest of my life. And pretty much, I just want to say that we work on a type of basis where we get fundings and we help out. We go on this subject, community voice, meaning we look at the citizens, we see what they have been asking, what they need and what they want, and we'll see if we can get the funds just enough to get their needs and wants. And for my final question, what would I do with $554? I would use it to help build houses that have been demolished for the elderly and the homeless. Thank you.
I have a question. Is this a job that you want to do later on in the future?
It would be an option, my second option, but first I would like to see if I can become a doctor.
Well, I just want to say that it's great to see someone so young be looking into jobs such as these. It's great to see that we have young people like this that are motivated enough to go after big jobs. And I just want to say congratulations on that wonderful speech. And I just want to wish you good luck on whatever job that it is that you want to focus on in the future. Thank you.
Wow, Luis.
You're good.
Are there any other questions from the commission?
Would you change any of the way they spend the fundings on in the city?
If we can get it to the least expense so we can have more for what the city needs, then I would change to the least expense.
I'm honestly in total agreement with Luis. You came up here, asked if we could hear you. You show a lot of maturity for your age, and the job that you took on was a big one. And just to see how well you executed that was impressive. How old are you?
11?
Wow, that's impressive. Very, very impressive. You're Jason Macias.
You're on the right track.
All right.
You are. We're all very, very proud of you.
All right, Jason, I do
Thank
have a
you.
question to follow up on how you answered Stevens. Where would the city need more funds?
Where?
Yes, in
Well-
what areas?
In what areas? Recreational or homes, as in where people can spend most of their time.
All right.
When you said that you guys looked into why people were homeless, what did you mean by that? Like you asked them personally, like?
Well, we
What
would.
happened?
We would see why they are homeless, and we would see in what ways we can make their home that we can build the better one.
And yeah, I think we're good, guys. Any questions?
Very good speech.
Very, very, very good job.
Keep the good work back.
We're all very impressed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. 11 years old. That's crazy. 11. I don't even know what I was doing at 11. I was like, I can't tell you. Oh, right. Health director. Health director. There we go. Good afternoon, Mr. Montiel.
Good afternoon, judges and commissioners.
Judges.
Today I had the opportunity and privilege of spending my day as the health director. I was able to meet, work, and learn from Brownsville's health director and his amazing team. At our first stop during the experience, I learned that there are over 39 species of mosquitoes in Brownsville. Researchers at the City Plaza Health Department work diligently to capture, test every single species of mosquito. Fortunately, only two 2 species came back positive for Zika and West Nile diseases. But it still opened my eyes to the question of, are we doing enough to raise awareness about this danger? Our next stop that really changed my view on things was the Wellness Division, which focuses on promoting and educating the public about what they're eating and how to start a healthier eating pattern. We learned that diabetes was a big problem in the valley and could cost over hundreds of billions in medical services. That is why the Wellness Division focuses on these numbers and how to bring them down. We also stopped at other areas as enforcer officers that go to properties and take in complaints, and if there's like tall grass, cars are like rotting away, they'll go there and give them notices to take it down. And in summary, though there are 5 different divisions in the Department of Health, they all work to one major goal, and that is keeping the citizens of Brownsville safe and healthy. Therefore, for my answer to the $554 question would use the money to raise more awareness to our city about the mosquitoes and their danger, and to make our community aware more of obesity and the importance of exercise and eating healthy.
Thank you.
Also, with your permission, I would like to read a flu advisory that will be released to the public only hours after this presentation.
By all means, go ahead.
On February 9, 2018, the Texas Department of State Health Services released the 2017-2018 Texas Influenza Surveillance Activity Report. According to the report, influenza activity remains high across the state of Texas. And the 2017-2018 Texas Influenza Surveillance Activity Report follows a Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
No worries.
Advisory released on December 27, 2017, notifying the public and medical providers about a spike in flu cases. Flu season is not over, said Public Health and Wellness Director Arturo Rodriguez. All residents are urged to make every effort to prevent the spread of the flu, which continued flu activity through the next few months. Preventative measures are key. Staying away from others who are sick or when you are sick are simple yet effective steps. The City of Brownsville encourages citizens to continue taking the following preventive measures against the flu and the spread of flu. Step 1, get yourself and your family vaccinated. It's not too late to get the flu shot. Step 2, take everyday preventative actions to help stop the spread of flu. Cover coughs and sneezes and dispose of used tissues. Wash your hands, and to the greatest extent possible, stay away from people who are ill or when you feel sick. And finally, step 3, take antiviral drugs if prescribed by your doctor. For more information, you can go to cdc.gov, their website. Thank you.
Amazing. Wow. Any questions?
we have questions.
Where are
We
you
have
going?
questions, Matthew.
Come back. Questions from the commission. I have a couple questions, but y'all go ahead.
Was this your first job choice?
No.
Aw, it's okay if it wasn't.
Did
But
you
did
enjoy
have
it
fun?
though?
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Would you like to do this later on?
It could be a possibility since it was very interesting to me today.
Okay, go ahead.
So you were talking about how we could raise awareness. What are some things that the city could do to spread the awareness of Zika and how dangerous mosquitoes are?
What we could do is we could post more advisories like this one right here that I read about mosquitoes and how to prevent yourself while coming in contact with nature. Like for example, when you're camping, you could wear a mosquito net and always take bug spray with you wherever you go.
Okay.
Okay, I know this might not be like an amazing question, but I'm very curious. How do they like catch all the mosquitoes?
Well, there's different types of traps. 2 main traps are one that uses scents that mosquitoes are attracted to, and when the mosquitoes get closer, it sucks them up.
And they caught all 39?
Well, over the years, they've caught 39 different species, but they don't know if there's more out there. This is just in Brownsville right now.
That's crazy cool. Okay, second question. The steps that you mentioned, like I will not get vaccinated for the life of me. I'm so scared of shots.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to get vaccinated, can you still, so for example, step 1 is to get vaccinated, step 2 is to try and prevent it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like cover your nose, don't cough, all that stuff, right?
Well, vaccination is just an extra step. Since they're injecting you with the flu, you're just building your immune system against it. So really, it's just an extra step to preventing it. But if you don't want to take it, you can just take the extra. You can just still wash your hands. Stay clean. You don't have to get vaccinated. It's not mandatory.
You seem very passionate about this. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah. So what career are you pursuing?
As of right now, I'm going to electronics and engineering.
Super cool.
Thank you.
And how they know, like, what type of tests they do to get, like, find out what type of virus they have?
The mosquitoes?
Yeah.
Well, once they capture the mosquitoes, they put them in cases and ship them overnight to Austin, where they get tested. And then within a week, they get sent back, and it comes out with a document for every single individual mosquito, positive, negative, male, or female.
Super cool. I would have never learned any of this. Thank you for that very educational speech.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you. Next, we have the Human Resources Director, which is a personal favorite of mine because I was Human Resources Director. I had a lot of fun with it. Where is our Human Resources Director? What's the name? Andre Cuevas.
Oh, he did not show up this morning.
Promotion. Austin Gifford. Yay, buddy. Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I learned that the human resources help a lot with complaints and a lot about safety, like outside. Like
No worries.
crashes or like if someone yelled at someone, then they would come and complain about that.
So when I was Human Resource Director, I got to sit in like a job interview. So like Human Resource Directors also assign jobs, correct?
Yes.
So did you get to do anything in that sense?
I did get interviewed, but
You got interviewed? Super cool. Questions? Oh, what would you do with $554?
I would probably make more trails, like at parks and stuff.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to repeat this just in case the people who didn't hear me the first time. It is very important that you give your undivided attention to the speaker. It's very hard to come up and present something out of the blue and extemporaneously like that. So please try not to whisper, try not to fidget, give them your undivided attention because they deserve it. Our next speaker is the library director. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Ava Lawrence, and I was the library director for a day. Today we went to both libraries, the Central Library and the Southmost Library. We did many things today and had a lot of fun while we were learning. The first thing we did was go to the Southmost Library, and we learned a new word, which was yurt. It is a collapsible home used by nomads. The children's librarian, Ava Davies, thought that the observatory at the Southmost Library was a yurt. We got to tour both of the libraries, and while we were there, we found out that every Thursday at 6 p.m., both libraries show a movie. You can get free popcorn, a pickle, and lemonade. Also, while you are at the library, you can go to the cafe and get snacks and drinks. We recommend trying the chocolate chip cookies, which are very delicious and freshly baked every day. We would use our $554 per resident to expand the services that the library offers our community, such as ebooks and paper books.
Thank you. Any questions?
What was your favorite part of the day?
It was probably helping out the customers in customer service.
By doing what? kind of service were you providing to the customers?
Like most of the customers, they were using like the computers, because sometimes they don't have computers at home, so they use the ones at the public library. And it was fun to help them because most of them didn't know how to work the computers.
Any more questions?
Would you like to do this in your future career?
It would be an option, but it's not my first choice.
I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
MIS Director Oscar Ures. Oh,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
I'm Oscar Odesti, and I was the MIS director. So what they told me was that there's basically different sections in the MIS, and their job is to manage the information from every other, like in the city of Brownsville, like if like the fire station has anything that they need to manage or any problems with their computers or anything, they get the MIS and they're the ones that help them. So I got the chance to help the fire station. One of their phones was, it wasn't working, so we got to replace one of the phones. And well, I got to see what it was like to do their job, and it was a great opportunity. And with the question of what I would do with the money, I was talking with one of the people there, and they were telling me about this program that they're making of cybersecurity. So they're making this program that because they want to protect the data, because it's very important data. It's like all of the city's data. So they're trying to make a program to protect their data. So I would waste my money. I would spend my money on that program so we could have better cybersecurity.
Very nice. Questions, anyone? I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our municipal court judge, who gave my mom a mistrial. Good afternoon.
Hello, I'm Sean Alejandro.
Hi.
I was the municipal court judge for today. I was actually promoted to my rank. So I'm not really sure what to say.
Tell us anything really, what you learned today, what your experience was like.
How was the case?
So the case was actually, or I judged it as a mistrial. Somebody decided to try and bribe me a single dollar.
No, I didn't.
That wasn't this.
Just $1 to say that you who was acting as the
No,
the
that
witness
was the
lying.
dollar that was bribed.
Yeah,
I was bribed with that dollar.
The dollar was evidence. The dollar was the evidence.
Yeah, we weren't trying to bribe you. We were presenting the evidence to you.
No, I did not.
Well, anyways, the note said that I was supposed to rule in denying the witness's actual account, and there was $1 included, so that was actually a bribe. Anyways,
Okay, just so that I can explain this, we had a court case today. My mom was on trial for not taking care of her Girl Scout troop. I was a witness. The commission was the jury. The commission decided to give the judge a single dollar as a bribe, saying that my mom was not guilty. That is what we were talking about, guys. Sorry.
That
Your
is not what
mayor
happened.
is corrupt.
Your mayor is not corrupt.
Okay.
Guys.
Just to clear up, her statement is incorrect. The dollar that was presented to the judge was actually the dollar that Miss Lucy Lopez over here, your mayor for the day, she tried to bribe Andres.
Sky, was that not your dollar?
No, it was actually the dollar that Lucy gave
Sky,
Andres.
don't you dare lie right now.
And so your mayor tried to get her mom a guilty plea. And so that's where that dollar came from.
I've never seen that dollar in my life. I am broke.
Anyway,
I had no money.
Anyways,
You say
Thank
you have
you.
order in my
$500?
court.
Okay, I have a question for you.
He's not done presenting.
Anyways, so I learned a lot more about how court sessions proceed, especially gavel smashing.
Oh yes, you're very good at that.
And yeah, I learned a lot more about how the judge really keeps the order between the jury and the prosecutor and the defense, and how a state session proceeds as well, because that's the particular one that we were having, the state versus your mom.
Yes. Can we ask questions?
Any questions?
What does how was your day in the judge? Like,
It was pretty fun. I got to wear a really big robe, and I got a gavel halfway through the first half of the trial. So, and I had the actual judge coaching me on the side to help me out with what was going to go on. So,
Guilty or innocent?
huh?
Stop, Andres. It was a
Guilty or
mistrial.
innocent?
We're not gonna get into that right now.
Okay.
Technically, she was guilty because she did not fulfill her literal vows, but in the sake of context, she was not guilty because she entrusted her chaperone to two other people.
But she was the chaperone, so she should. Okay, you know what? Not important.
Technically, she would have.
Would you see this as a future career option?
I think it would be a really interesting career option, but no, thank you.
Okay, what are you looking into?
Really, honestly, aeronautical engineering.
Wow, that's shoot high.
One of you had a question?
What was your original job before you got moved up to judge?
My original job was court administrator.
Nice.
We ended up not having one of those.
That was a very nice promotion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a very large promotion.
okay, what will you spend a month? $554.
Probably on more training for the bailiff.
That's a personal attack. Your $554 would go into something like what was in the
it would probably
presentation?
just go into more general funding for the courts and the people surrounding it, like the prison system and whatever else.
Okay. Thank you.
Looks like the bailiff.
So
is
the
shaking
bailiff
her head.
actually, so the person who was the bailiff.
It's okay, bailiff. We all think you do
people
a pretty
into
good job.
Yeah,
You're
the
fine.
bailiff did a pretty
I
good
think
job.
she did
So
great. She was
I
yelling
don't
at
think you should be throwing
She
shade.
escorted me. I mean, what does Sky think? Ana Ibarra, please stand. Sky Ibarra.
I agree that 554 should go on more training for the bailiff.
That's a personal attack.
Let's stop throwing shade here.
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
presentation and
Hey,
for your service.
when are you gonna use that gavel?
When am I going to use the gavel?
Yeah,
I can
when are you
use
gonna use it?
this one. You
She
can
already
have.
used
No,
it.
the big
She-
one.
The big- I already used it
When?
to call the meeting to order.
Oh, okay.
I'll use it again right now. Here.
To hit it.
Oh, I used it. That's irrelevant. The Planning and Development Department Services Director. Large title. Good afternoon, Ms. Olvera.
Today, we acted as the public and created our own business, a bookstore / coffee shop / restaurant. Our goal was to have all of our permits approved in order to establish our business. Through this, we learned the importance of ordinances in place. After that, we visited the San Fernando and the Olvera building. There we learned about the importance of preserving historic buildings downtown. I learned that not many people are aware of the benefits that come with restoring buildings. My favorite part of today was going through the process of starting our own business.
Thank you. What would you do with $554?
I would fix the sidewalks because they are really bumpy and messed up, so yeah, I'd fix the sidewalks.
So all money would go into sidewalks?
Yes.
You said you were in the process of creating your own business for the day. What type of business were y'all trying to make?
The coffee shop?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Walking in the rain.
What are the benefits of restoring like older buildings?
Well, it's good because it's heritage, and the Olvera building is my family's old building. So I think it's good that they kept it there, and that my family, and it's like a heritage of my family. So yeah.
So you have a personal connection?
Yeah.
That's very, very nice. So if you had to choose between spending the money on preserving and restoring historic buildings, documents, etc., or fixing sidewalks?
I would definitely do the preserving the buildings, but my group told me to like save the sidewalks because they were really hard to walk on when we were walking to the building. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so like personally,
Yeah.
there's sidewalks. We had to walk too, that's okay. Thank you. Any other questions? No? I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Police chief. Police chief, please step forward. Left, right, left, right.
I'm kidding.
Good afternoon. My name is Mariclara, and today I was the police chief for the Brownsville Police Department. Today, they took us on a tour around the building, the main building for the police department. First, we went to dispatch communication, and well, we found out that there's like more than just only 911. They connected to the animal control, the license, all the things all with the cars and all of that. We also went to the special investigation units where they deal with narcotics, drugs, where they keep them, how they deal with them, how do they get rid of them, the building that they go to well, burn them, to destroy them.
I guess.
We also went to the traffic division, telling us how the motorcycles, the new stuff that they use and everything. We went to the city jail where they keep all the prisoners. Today we saw on the cameras that there was actual prisoners in there, alcoholics, different people. We went to the patrol division, the uniform service, the police, etc. Yeah, I'm really nervous, I'm sorry.
Do not be nervous.
Yeah. But they just toured us and showed us that there's more to than just arresting and doing all day. There's different positions. All of them, they use all of them. Without one, the rest of the place wouldn't work. You use all of them. They're like a family. That's what they.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
I am turning red.
Girl, it's okay. We're fine. Trust me. Can I ask you questions? Yes? No?
No, go.
Oh, okay. So as police chief, do you feel that the responsibility of the whole department was just on you?
It was when I learned that the police chief, it's not only the police department, there's like, when you're the police chief, you're connected to like all parts of the government. So you have a lot of pressure on you. But he looked like he was really relaxed, but he did say it was kind of stressful, but with everyone helping him and working as family, it was easier.
And in regards to the 555, I can't talk, oh my gosh. In regards to the $554 that you would receive, would you spend it in your own, I guess, unit, or would you try to spread it throughout Brownsville?
I would spread it throughout Brownsville because there's problems for each division and stuff. To advance technology, because they already have really good technology, but I feel like if they advance that more, it can help them on the field.
Oh yeah, did you see the motorcycles with like the cool little radar thing? Yeah, those things are cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I saw. I got on it. I took some pictures. Okay, questions, Commission? No.
None at all.
So you're good. Thank you. Don't be rude. Public Works Director.
Public Works Director.
Who is Eliel Escobedo. If you're out there and you're hiding. Oh, he's not? Okay, never mind. Let's do you want to ask the next person? The next person in charge? Yeah. Okay. Is Gabriel Sanchez here? Gabriel Sanchez? Are you Gabriel Sanchez? Yes? Okay, great. Come on up, Gabriel Sanchez.
Right there, right there. You pass it.
Door, yeah, there we go. It's very camouflaged. Good afternoon, Mr. Sanchez.
Good afternoon.
May we have a report, please? Go ahead.
I already have a report.
Well, tell us about your day, what you did, what you learned.
Me and my friend were going in like a car, and then like they're showing us.
That is super cool. Does mine move?
No.
Yours doesn't have one.
Let's see.
No. Continue, sorry.
It was fun because like they got to tell us about how they fix it, like the machines and how they could repair them, and it was kind of actually interesting because every alley is flooded right now, and they're trying to fix and scrape every puddle, and they're trying to fix every every puddle that's in every street. That's how they take away the trash from alleys, streets, and sometimes waters from the lakes. And it was actually really fun to help them during the day. And
Cool. Oh, go ahead.
that's actually that's.
Oh, okay. Question?
Will you do this as a career?
Excuse me?
Will you do this as a career?
Actually, I don't know if like I do this for my career, but like I don't know.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
I did your job 3 years ago. I had a lot of fun. We went to the gas station and got chips. It was fun. What would you do with $554?
I'll buy like a.
Do not say an Xbox. That is the wrong answer.
Yes, it really is.
Were you gonna say that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No. I'll buy a like a garbage truck and use it for every trash man so they could pick up their trash from the lakes and the beaches, actually.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they could travel
technology.
faster.
I totally understand.
Yes.
Questions? Questions?
Think you
Questions?
covered all of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Welcome.
stepping
Have
up.
a good day.
You too.
You had that job.
I had that job 3 years ago. Parks and Recreation Director, Diego Arguelles. Oh, yes. Good job. Good job. Hello, Diego. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
How have you been?
Pretty good.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever. Okay, continue. Go ahead.
So my name is Diego Arguelles, and
Yeah.
I'm here as the Director of Parks and Recreation. And I'm going to talk about what we did today and what I learned. So today, when we first picked our jobs, we went to the city plaza where we furthermore learned about our jobs, individual, and the responsibilities we have as a whole. And then we went to the recreational center where the little kids and older kids can go and do their homework and do many other activities there. And they have athletic activities such as boxing and basketball they have there. And then we went to the event center and we had a tour of the facility, and we learned that they hold 1,000 people and they can sit 800. And then furthermore, we went to the golf center where we didn't have much time to do anything because it was raining, so we just had a quick tour inside, and then we left. And then after lunch, while we were there, we had a tour of the Wingo City Civic Pavilion, and we learned that what behind the scenes and what they had there, like how they prepare the food and stuff. And then as we went on, we went to the FEMA Dome and learned about the games and what they do and supply there. And we learned as well as they can hold 550 people there in case of a storm.
Thank you, Diego. What would you do with $554?
Well, for what I would do is I would hire more maintenance employees so they can work on the sidewalks, the trails. I mean, the trails, and they can fix their trails more.
Ask questions to Diego, guys.
All right, Diego, I have a couple questions for you.
Yes.
All right, so question number one. At the beginning of your speech, you said you learned about what each job entails. What does your job as director entail?
My job director and chair is I oversee that all the other, all the other job titles have, know what they're doing and stuff, and make sure that new ideas are approved or not approved.
Okay. Another question. Do you oversee finance for Parks and Recreation?
Can you say that again?
Do you oversee the finance area for Park and
Yes.
Recreation?
Yeah, they said that I did oversee the financial part of the Parks and Recreational Services.
Okay. And my last question. What was your favorite part of the day?
My favorite part of the day was being able to see the FEMA Dome as completed because I haven't seen it. I didn't know it was done, and I didn't know that they had many activities there throughout the week.
Will you do this as a career?
Personally, I would not choose this as a career, but if I found this very interesting. If I did not like my first choice, then I would definitely choose
What was
this.
your first choice?
My first choice is going to become a stockbroker, so yes.
Wow. Did not see that coming.
You already answered it.
Sure.
Do you know any of their recent projects? Because I know that they do, they fix parks and stuff.
Yes.
And
So they had a recent project that they did for Halloween or in Thanksgiving and stuff. And Thanksgiving, they at the recreational center they feed all the little kids and stuff. So, and they're in charge of the Easter event in this park here in here. Oh, sorry. The sports park. They buy 30,000 eggs, and they have a turnout of 4,000 people.
that's. Thank you.
Bye, Diego. Okay. Traffic director. That was weird. Traffic director. There we go. Fabian Rodriguez. Did he bounce?
He's back there.
No, Fabian is here.
Yeah, he over there in the corner, and
You must present a speech. Okay, we're gonna come back to you. BPUB General Manager. Yay, Patricia Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Patricio Rodriguez, and today I was the BPUB General Manager for today. So we first began our tour with an example of how BPUB, like workers with the power lines, like do a power line rescue whenever a worker gets stuck on the power line, which is pretty interesting to see. We then went to the analytical lab where scientists showed us how they analyze their water samples from all across town. And they also showed us a pinpoint map with thumbtacks of all the locations where they get all their samples. Some of these water samples come from the Resacas, the Rio Grande and the water from their local filtration systems, just to make sure that everything's going fine. Now, in these water samples, they search for E. coli and cryptosporidium under ultraviolet light, and to do that, they put the water in like some vials, and from there they put it in a bag where they seal it, and then they try to like make sure, just to check it. So the types of water filtration BPUB provides is traditional gravitation filtration, which basically is having the water like in like a pit of water, and with gravity it pulls down all the sediment to the ground. They also have reverse osmosis and chemical filtration, which is most commonly used. At the power plant tour, they showed us some of the antique steam generators from the 1940s and 1960s, which varied in size from this right here, the smallest one, to maybe half of this room, the generators.
Wow.
Originally, these generators were run by burning mesquite wood. They then showed us the digital control center with all the controls for the generators. Now, back then, they used to have analog, so they wouldn't have anything digital saying like what they had to fix, and so they had to manually do it. But now with the digital system, they have computers warning them what's going on, what's wrong. Now, fortunately, because the generators were on standstill, they were able to show us the two relatively new generators, which were built in 2004, which both produce approximately 115 megawatts of power, which are able to supply 23,000 homes in the area. Now, due to the weather, we weren't able to see the waste management of BPUB, but we were told how it worked. My favorite thing was just seeing the immense size of the generators and the change of advances in technology. Just looking at each generator, each one produces even more by each size, by each year. Now, what I would spend with $554 would be to place it in a long-term investment, which would be then spent for more efficient electricity production. Any questions?
Well, you answered the one about 554.
Is your department looking into more environmental friendly ways of energy production?
Yes, here in Brownsville, we burn natural gas in which there is no emission. Now up north, we also have a wind generation, which is 100% renewable energy, and way more up north, near like McAllen, we own 22% on one of the power plants, which burns coal, and 13% on another plant. But most of the energy comes from our local plant, which is here, and the windmills.
Did you get like a little ID name tag when you took your picture?
Yes, right here.
Cool.
Any other questions?
would you like to do this later on?
Yes, but I think I would prefer more in the scientific field, or like the analyzing of the samples, because I like the lab environment.
Pretty cool.
Questions? No? Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
hold up.
Sorry.
I just want to say I'm impressed with the way you answered the $554 question. I think it's a smart way to look at it, putting it into an investment, and then, whatever money it is you make afterwards, that's the money you spend on whatever field you want to, put it into. And I just say, it's not really something that we would expect somebody to answer, and, it's impressive, the way you answered that question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent of Schools, BISD Superintendent of Schools. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Good afternoon,
Hello.
Ms. Gutierrez.
Okay. When we got there, we dropped off the 3 police commanders for BISD police and into their building in Hannah, and then me and the public health director, I think that's what his name is, went to the main building. We know where the DQ is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so when we got there, Dr. Sendejas wasn't there, so she couldn't show me around, but her secretary did, Miss Belinda. So we went to basically like it's superintendent, right? And then she governs over like a bunch of departments. Like there's 8 departments that are basically like over her control. She rules them all. And so I got to go meet all of them. We got to see the servers that run every record for Brownsville, for BISD. So like if you want like your, what does it say, your report card, you can go there and just tell them, hey, or for reasons, right? Just tell them, or like you find their grade point, GPA and stuff.
Yes.
Then we went to accounting and then accounts payable, which are 2 different things. Accounting is where you pay the bills. Accounts payable is where you prepare the bills to be paid for accounting.
Thank you.
Oh wait, no, I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, and we went to other different parts, and then that was pretty much it. The departments are, HR and stuff, fun things. Yeah. Oh, and I got to take a picture with Miss in the house.
Miss who?
Doctor's in the house.
Oh, so she did show up later?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. That's it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead, guys, go ahead.
So, the new building that they're building at Hannah, what all did they say about it? Because I know that it is taking the band field.
It's what?
It's taking the band field. So what all did they say about the new building that they're building over there?
What?
The building you said that they're building at Hannah?
Oh, the building at Hannah was
Yeah.
For the BISD police department.
Okay.
What? We're gonna have more security? I'm moving forward.
I think it's always been there though.
Huh?
I think it's always been there though.
Really?
Mhm.
No. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Any other questions, guys? No? No? What would you do with $554?
Well, like Resaca's really do need like a lot of cleanup because like there's a lot of pollution in them. Like you see the water, it's brown. It does not need to be brown.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gutierrez. No more questions, anyone?
No.
All right. Oh, wait. Do you have a question? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you everybody for your patience and cooperation and attentiveness. That concludes the reports. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on up. Who did I miss?
Public Relations Officer.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Alejandro.
Oh,
and
I'm
I was
so
the-
sorry that I.
No,
screwed
it's
up. Sorry.
fine. And I was the public relations officer for today. And so, when I started out,
Oh,
I
that's
was
us.
actually the only girl to be here from my troop, and so I was always thinking to myself, what did I get myself into? What am I doing? And most of all, I was questioning what is the job that I had picked, and what would I be doing? But throughout the day, I have learned just how important being a public relations officer really is. And so I kind of learned that they are the behind the scenes of things. They're working with the media and planning out events in Brownsville. And they're working with people throughout the day, and they're doing so many jobs when there's just 2 women here. And I look up to them because their jobs are stressful, and it's a lot of work for just 2 women. And it's a very important job, because who would be there to tell you about the things going on here? And who would be there to tell the media what's going on? And so, with developing skills, in the beginning I wasn't too sure about what I should be doing or the right questions to ask. And so I was just gathering information and working on the skills that I needed. And so I worked with the HR director and the financing director, and I kind of asked them questions about the city of Brownsville and what they think should be improved. And so I learned about their ideas on Brownsville and how there's a variety of different things, or just a variety of different things that people have come up with on how they would change Brownsville or just improve it overall. And so I put these skills to work. And at the luncheon, I was interviewing girls, and I was asking them these questions, and I was understanding just their view on things. And so I found out that there are so many different views on things, and it was quite interesting understanding things in a different perspective, because when you're one person, you usually have one mindset. But when you communicate with people, you see from different points of views, and you understand just how different things could be if you were to understand or be in their shoes. And so at the luncheon, it seems kind of like an easy job when you first hear the words public relations officer, but it's actually quite hard, because you're communicating with people you have never met before, and it's just not something that you would do in everyday life, right? And so you're coming out of your shell, and you're communicating with these girls, and you're just building relationships, and you're understanding the world differently, or in a different perspective, just by listening to other girls' views and what they would do. And so, with the question of what I would use the $554 for, in the beginning, I wanted a llama.
Oh, yes, girl.
But I'm pretty sure my mom wouldn't be too happy if I brought a llama home.
They spit a lot.
But after listening to all these different things and how people would improve Brownsville, such as funding for safety, for infrastructure, and just overall helping the city, I couldn't come up with something that I would use the money for, because there's so many different things that you could do with it. And so overall, I think I would just use it for the people overall, whether it's a charity or it's infrastructure. I would just split it into pieces and fund each thing. And so one of the upcoming events is the Binational Run. That's on March 4th, and you can sign up for that online. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was great. Any questions, commissioners? So, me personally, I know that as a public relations officer, you took lots of pictures today. So I know that you have to be like everywhere at once. Am I right? So like, just how much stress were you under? And then imagine like the stress of the people who you were job shadowing every single day. This was just one day, but for them it's like an everyday thing.
For me, this is actually one of the first major speeches I've ever done, and that's one of the things of being a public relations officer. And it's very stressful, and it's just a day here. And I look up to these women because this is their everyday job, and they're dealing with people in the public and having to do so many things within a day, and it's honestly very stressful.
I can imagine. Do you enjoy photography and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah, so do you see yourself doing this later in life?
I'm not sure about the speaking part, but maybe behind the scenes with the photography and all of that would be something that I would do.
Wonderful. Anything else? No?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that, this being one of your first major speeches, I think you did a pretty good job. I think your PowerPoint was a really good idea for you to bring up during your speech. And even if you're not sure if this is what you want to do, I think that you do a pretty good job doing this. So I just want to congratulate you on your first major speech. So.
Thank you.
Now, I believe that is the end of our reports. Nobody has any objections? No? Okay. Madam Secretary? Never mind. It's just left.
There is nothing left.
Wonderful. Now I believe the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts have dinner, pizza and ice cream provided upstairs. So,
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting yes.
adjourned. Meeting adjourned. We are adjourned.
I'm sorry. Pictures.
Ms. Blakemore.
You can give the money to Miss Blakemore over here. Miss Blakemore, can you raise your hand, please?
Ms. Blakemore.
Sophia, that's her.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.